Hello, everybody, and welcome to Financial Fridays with Dawn. Today, we're going to be talking about estate planning with Attorney Janna Pelletier. And the reason why you're going to need an attorney is because, as you know, I do financial planning, so I'm helping you grow your assets, protect your assets, and I can only do so much before we actually need to get an attorney involved to make sure everything that I have set in plan is actually going to happen. So that's why I invited Janna Pelletier to be on my show. So, Janna, thank you for being a part of my show.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I deal with a wide range of clients. We all know why older people would need a will, but a lot of people are younger and they don't really know why they would need one, even though I kind of educate them. But still, most people are like, I'm young, I'm not going to die, I don't have to worry. So, kind of give us a little idea of why do young people need to start doing estate planning?
Well, for a young single person, it's incredibly important to have estate planning documents in place, a will, a financial power of attorney, a medical power of attorney. You know, we're seeing younger people wait longer and longer to get married, which is a great thing. However, they're accumulating assets. And unfortunately, sometimes bad things happen. And if you don't have the proper documentation in place, if something bad happens, it creates a lot more stress on your family. So for example, a financial power of attorney for a single person is incredibly important. There's probably no one else on your bank account. So if you were in a car accident and you're in the hospital and maybe you're going to recover, but you're going to be in the hospital for several months, going through rehab, whatever, who's paying your mortgage? Who's paying the bills? Who's going to the bank and making sure that everything isn't being drawn down? That's Who you need to select as your financial power of attorney. So that's why a financial power of attorney is extremely important for a young single person. Same can be said with a medical power of attorney. If you're in a car accident and you go into a coma and things aren't looking good and two physicians say, hey, this person isn't coming back, you need somebody to be able to stand up and say, I'm the medical power of attorney. Here's the living will. I know they would not want to be a vegetable the rest of their lives, and they have to give the authority to the doctors to pull the plug.
Yeah. And you want them to have your permission. You don't want them to be guessing. Your loved one is like, right, oh no, what should I do? Like, it's already a stressful time. Now you're going to add that responsibility. So it's good to take responsibility for yourself, get with an attorney, write down your wishes and what you want to have happen. So it's a little bit easier. It's not going to be easy, but easier in that regard.
Right. The last thing you want is your family members in a hospital arguing about what this individual would or wouldn't want. If you have already made those selections yourself, it takes a lot of the pressure off. And I think ultimately that was what most people would prefer, rather than their family stressed out over making the right decision. Mm-hmm. So for a single person, having these documents in place is incredibly important.
And also, too, I know an example of a couple. They weren't married. They were together for 15 years. He owned the house. She wasn't on the mortgage. He had no life insurance. So unfortunately, he passed away. So now not only is she homeless, she's also dealing with the loss of her boyfriend. So even if you're not married, you still need to get your life insurance and have the estate planning attorney. And that's what any good financial planner is going to recommend. As soon as you start to sit down with your financial plan, they're going to ask you, at least I do, okay, when's the last time you updated your will? Who's your attorney? So that's why it's a good time to start thinking about that. And it's never too soon. I think I got mine when I was like in my 20s. Right. And they're like, you don't have anything. You're single. I'm like, but I realize the importance of this. I don't want someone to make those decisions. And I want to have everything in place, because why let the state control it?
Right, exactly. If you don't make any indications prior, either they have to go through the court system, which is much more time consuming and much more costly than setting up the power of attorney ahead of time or the will ahead of time. So setting it up while you're healthy, while things are going well, while you can think clearly about who would be the best person, best choice for you, it saves your family a ton of heartache.
And also review these documents. If your stuff was drafted, your wills and everything were drafted over 10 years ago, maybe you had your best friend as your executor, but now they're not your best friend, or someone who's deceased was going to be in charge. So you want to look at everything. And also, too, it's a great time to look at beneficiaries as well, because when you leave a job, you don't want to go and like, say you're on your second marriage, you don't want your ex-wife getting that money. So update those, the beneficiaries, on everything. Is a good time when you're changing jobs too. Any kind of life event is when you're going to want to start thinking about your estate planning strategy.
Right. Any kind of important life event, marriage, divorce, adoption, anything that happens in your family that's significant, whether it's positive or negative, it's usually a good time to take a step back and say, okay, are my assets the way that I want them to? Are they going to be distributed to the people I would want them to if something were to happen to me at this point in time?
Exactly. And then we could get into, there's a whole reason of other things that estate planning attorneys could help you with, sheltering your money, making sure it goes to the right way, paying the least amount of state taxes. But that'll be a conversation for another day. We could sit here all day and talk about estate planning. So if you want to reach out to Janna, which I highly recommend that you do, Janna, where can people find you?
Best place, they can reach me via my website, which is jpelletier, that's PELLETIER, law.com. My email address is Janna, JANNA, at jpelletierlaw.com.
Okay, great. And then, as you know, you could always find me at dsfinancialstrategies.com or reach me out to me on my number, 215-660-0288. And we'll include all of Janna's contact information in the box below this video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.